So it is simply not true that having a trans identity makes it more likely that you will harm yourself or kill yourself. However, it's very dangerous to tell children that it is. Because one thing we do know about suicide and suicidality is they're contagious. So that's why, as a journalist, you're told the reporting guidelines are you don't give much detail when somebody has killed themselves. You certainly don't present this as the solution to a specific problem for that person. You don't talk about the methodology, and you don't suggest that the person was very brave to do it. Because people read that and, they're maybe in trouble in their lives, or they see some similarities between that person and themselves, and it makes it more likely they'll do it too. So it's highly irresponsible to say this.
What about, I'm reliably informed that this has been a standard line from some of these clinicians. They say to troubled parents, well, this might be concerning for you, but you have to make a choice. Do you want a child who undergoes this treatment, or do you want a dead child?
Yeah, they say dead daughter or alive son, or the other way around. Do you want a dead daughter or a alive son? I mean, it's emotional blackmail, and it's to get the parents with the program. Yeah. And the worst thing is that some of them do that in front of the child. So now the parent has really got an absolutely impossible choice. The parent in front of the child has to act as if they don't care if the child kills themselves. I hesitate to use any other word, but it's wicked.
The point that I just wanted to add is I find it mind-boggling and totally unacceptable that a senior political leader in Australia can make as wild a statement as that without any supporting evidence of any quality anywhere.
She will have been told it's true. I mean, it is not right. It is not right that somebody makes a statement like that without really being sure of it. But one thing I will say, and this is true everywhere, not just in Australia, is that organisations that used to be reliable and that used to have good names have allowed themselves to be completely corrupted by this agenda. So in the UK, Stonewall is an example. Stonewall was a great organisation. It was set up to advocate for gay and lesbian people. It did fine work. And, it's still coasting on that reputation, even though 10 years ago it torched it by adding the T to the LGB. And it has misrepresented the law. It has pumped out fake statistics like this. It has treated any politician or journalist who has the slightest doubt about all of this as just beyond the pale, total bigots. But a lot of people haven't noticed. It takes a long time to notice when a brand destroys itself. So I don't know what your equivalent is here, but I bet you they're saying that this statistic is true, and I bet you there's a lot of people who still think that they're reliable and dependable, and who don't actually realise that they're believing something that long ago lost any reason to be believed.
If I was still a leader of a political party and I was going to trot something like that out,
you'd check.
I'd want it checked. It's a really far-reaching, almost unbelievable, because it is unbelievable, and dangerous thing to say.
And I mean, another thing about it is, suppose it was true. It is true for some other conditions. There are other mental health conditions that can really increase the risk of suicidality. I mean, we won't go into too many details, but you can imagine like serious eating disorders, for example. They cause a lot. No responsible clinician tells the child or says anything near the child about that. They emphasise recovery, resilience. Even if this was true, why would we be telling little children that they're doomed to consider suicide? Stonewall, back in the day when it was a good organisation, it had this wonderful campaign aimed at teenagers who were recognising that they were gay and were considering coming out and were experiencing homophobia. They got happy, healthy, gay adults to say to camera, "It gets better." That's what you should be saying. That's what any responsible adult should be saying to children who are struggling or unhappy. Hang in there, it gets better. Not, you're going to kill yourself.